Help Marines has been stealing from them instead. That is the accusation in a federal complaint that was made public today. Investigator Rebecca Lindstrom has followed this story over the past couple of years and now takes a closer look at how prosecutors say this money was really spent. Rebecca?
Hopefully you remember the name Skip Wells, a Marietta man killed in a terrorist attack on a recruiting station in Chattanooga. It is his mother that helped expose John Simpson after giving him money to open a barber shop in her son's name. Simpson took the money, but according to the complaint, he never opened the store. He also held several fundraisers using Skip's name to support his own charity, Marines and Mickey. It was supposed to help Marines struggling financially or to send families to Disney World to reconnect after a long deployment. But I found victims in North Carolina, Florida, even California that told me he never made good on those promises. And today, prosecutors said they agree. They say he spent nearly $400,000 of donated money on himself and other family members, buying a car, paying his personal mortgage and rent. He even allegedly spent some of the money at the Museum of Sex, including nearly $900 at the adult novelty store Red Room Toys. Victims claim Simpson told them he had a heart for helping Marines because he was a retired Master Sergeant and a recon Marine. While he was a Marine, he served as a clerk, and in an open records request, I learned he had a bad conduct discharge after going AWOL.
Taking advantage of a lot of people. Rebecca, thank you.